Right now at 5, a person of interest in a decades-old missing persons case commits suicide.
We've got a cloudy but calm start for us across the area today ahead of our incoming thunderstorms. We'll tell you when they're getting here and how the weekend's looking coming up.
And Wildcat Glades closes 2 trails due to weather-related damage.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. It's a finally Friday here in the 4 states. You got to celebrate some way, somehow. And you're probably going to want to celebrate indoors today because we've got ourselves a rainy Friday ahead of us. Showers and thunderstorms already beginning to roll into the area. On the Skywatch Storm Tracker, there they are, just sneaking in to our western counties as we speak. And then you may notice, and sometimes this happens, this little artifact here. This is just a bad radar return. That's not actually there. But what is actually there is all of this, and it's beginning to roll on through the area, and it will continue to do so as the morning progresses, and we'll continue to see showers and storms throughout our day. We head into about the noon hour. Showers, thunderstorms overspreading parts of southeast Kansas, and as the day progresses, they'll continue to overspread the area. There's still that possibility of a strong storm or two, so maybe some small hail, gusty winds, but we're not really anticipating any kind of significant severe weather or anything like that. Just some good old thunderstorms with much needed rainfall across the area. And these will clear out a little later in the evening, so say about 8, 9 o'clock they will be on their way out of here. Here's a look at the rain chances. So again, this is for the Joplin area specifically, but they will ramp up as we head through the afternoon, and as we get into the evening they will gradually drop off. Quick look at the MoDOT camera. 20th and range line looks good. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. And we're sitting with those cloudy skies out there. 64 in Joplin, the south-southeast breeze at 5. Across the area, temperatures look about like this. 61 in Pittsburgh, 62 Iola, Chetopa, 63 Miami, and 62 Neosho. We get our morning started. We'll start to see those isolated showers, thunderstorms moving in. Those of us that are ahead of the storms in eastern Kansas, southwest Missouri, will actually warm into the lower 70s, but further west in southeast Kansas, the rain moves in this morning. It's going to keep you a little cooler, and then we'll just be dealing with those thunderstorms throughout the day and into the evening hours. Again, they'll clear out of here before midnight, and we'll eventually drop back down to a low right around 54 with some mostly cloudy skies tonight. Tanya?
Right, thanks, Chris. A person of interest in a decades-old Delaware County missing persons case reportedly killed himself on Thursday in southern Texas. Peggy Sweeten was 52 years old when she was reported missing from her home on Grand Lake in January of 1998. She lived there at the time with her husband, James. On Thursday afternoon, Delaware County Sheriff's Office released that James Sweeten killed himself in Willasco, Texas. The police department in Texas has stated they received a call about a suicidal person at an RV park. When they arrived, they found his body in an outbuilding. The apparent suicide comes days after the Delaware County Sheriff's Office sent a dive team into Grand Lake near the home Sweeten lived in. Earlier this month, a barrel was located underwater that was believed to be connected to Peggy's disappearance. The dive team was unable to retrieve the entire barrel due to deterioration. No new evidence was found. On Thursday, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly vetoed part of a $6 billion funding plan for the state's K-12 schools. Governor Kelly said she objected to one provision that she says would cut funding for rural public schools who have been dealing with declining enrollment. The spending plan, which would provide the bulk of the money that the state's 286 school districts rely on, would also expand a program aimed at providing private school scholarships for low-income families. Damage caused by recent wet weather closed 2 trails at a popular Joplin park. According to the Wildcat Glades Nature Group, the red trail between the Woodland Loop and Reddings Mill Bridge is closed. A crack in the trail opened up along a portion of the walkway. The green trail, also known as the Bluff Trail, is closed from the south side of Reddings Mill Bridge to Mother Nature's Gap, as the bridge crossing area at Spring Creek is flooded. On Thursday, Integra's Health Hospice Northeast in Miami, Oklahoma hosted a memorial walk for residents in memory of their loved ones. Each walker held a lighted candle in honor of someone they lost. The event was free and included refreshments served during the walk. Officials say the walk is a special way to honor Integris' patients, and to see people come out to walk means a lot to them.
It's a good feeling. We know that they are getting the support that they need. We're here for them. We follow the patient's family for the 13 months after a patient has passed away.
Oh, it's just wonderful. It's just a great opportunity to reconnect with them because we journeyed with them through the death of their loved one.
People who could not walk could still take a seat and reminisce. The walk was at Rotary Centennial Park. Well, some area young people reached out to help other kids in need. On Thursday, McDonald County High School students donated $1,200 to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals at Freeman Health System. The money raised is from a color run the students organized last month on behalf of Nora Beechner. Nora is the 6-year-old daughter of MCHS counselor Joseph Beechner. Nora has a rare disease and needs ongoing medical treatment.
They give back because they care about their teachers. They care about the staff that work at their school, and this is just a little way for them to be able to give back on a level that's appropriate for them.
CMN helps the family with transportation and other expenses related to Nora's traveling to and from treatments. Yesterday marked the third Thursday of the month, which means downtown Joplin was full of food trucks and vendors. More than 125 vendors were on hand for the event. There was also a Healthy Joplin walk, a vintage car cruise, a pizza eating contest, and an electronics smash-a-thon.
Celebrating the Great Adventure tonight, so there's all kinds of things you can come down. You can come down and join the fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club, the Smash-a-thon, and with that, you just make a small donation and you can take out any lingering feelings you might be having by smashing the heck out of old printers and other electronics.
Sounds like they were having a good time. The third Thursday events happen every month through October. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, MSSU baseball looks to keep alive in the Division II National Tournament. We'll have if they beat their opponent with Chris in sports. Plus, a woman looking to live in a home with her family has some unexpected and odd guest already living there. And have you heard of disorder known as body dysmorphic disorder? We're going to tell you more about it in Health Watch. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, the Missouri Southern baseball team is back in the Division II National Tournament for the first time since 2019. Not only that, but the Lions have earned the number 2 seed in the Central Region, and they get to host a regional for the first time since 1992. Southern opens that regional tournament last night against Arkansas Tech. First inning, Cole Woods sets the tone. Strikeout here. Woods gets 8 strikeouts in 6 2/3. Now we're going to go to the third inning and check it out. Woods gets the strikeout. Chayton behind the plate. Beautiful throw to catch the runner. One of 2 runners he caught stealing in this one. Now we go to the bottom of the 8th. Southern down 3-2. And remember this one as the Chayton Beck game with 1 on. He lifts this one high and deep to left. No doubter for Chayton Beck. Go ahead 2-run bomb gives Southern a 4-3 lead. Leif Holtheim would close it out on the mound in the 9th. Missouri Southern wins a great game to open the regional 4-3 over Arkansas Tech.
I was just looking for a fastball that way I could drive, and I honestly don't even remember what happened after that. Just kind of swung and hoped. Didn't feel it hit the bat, and then as rounding the bases, it's just a cool feeling to have everybody cheering, all the guys standing at the plate. It's just a great feeling to put us up like that and then come out and have Leif pitch in the last inning like he did.
Great win for us. Cole Woods was excellent. And of course, Chayton had a huge hit in the 8th, but I thought our guys hung in there. You know, we kind of had some opportunities early. We left the bases loaded, I think, twice, and for our guys to stick with it, it's credit to them.
Got a lot of high school scores to get to. Class 3 District 11 championship. It's East Newton taking on tournament host Lamar. Lamar wins it in a shutout 3-0. They move on to face Stockton in the Class 3 sectional round next week. Another district championship, Seneca and Monette play for the Class 4 District 11 title. Monette's Marcus Young, a Missouri Southern commit, throws an 8-inning no-hitter. The Cubs take it 1-0. They will play in the Class 4 sectional round next Tuesday. In the Class 5 District 7 tournament in Warrensburg, McDonald County, the number 1 seed, faces tournament host Tigers in the semifinals. McDonald County wins 1-0. Cross Dowd throws 6 2/3, allowing just 4 hits. They face the winner of this one, Webb City facing Belton on the other side of the bracket. Another great one, Sean Hunt delivers a walk-off in the bottom of the 8th to give Webb City a 3-2 win. So it'll be Webb City and McDonald County for the district title on Monday. Regional playoffs are complete for high school baseball and softball in southeast Kansas. On the softball side, 4 local teams have earned regional titles and a spot in the state tournament. In Class 3A, the Columbus Titans are headed to Manhattan for the state tournament. Titans beat defending state champion Frontenac 2-1 on a walk-off single from Gracie Major in extra innings. Columbus is now 21-2 overall, heading to state. Also earning regional titles this week, Pittsburgh Purple Dragons. They won a 5A regional title on Tuesday, beating Bonner Springs 7-1. In Class 4A, Fort Scott makes the state bracket after beating Iola 6-4 for a regional title. In Class 2A, Jayhawk Lynn will represent Southeast Kansas in the state tournament. As for the baseball guys, 5 local teams have earned their spot in the state. Columbus Titans headed back to Manhattan for the 2nd straight season, beating Frontenac 9-5 for a 3A regional title. Humboldt will join them in Manhattan in the 3A state tournament. Class 4A, SEK champion Fort Scott punches their ticket to state as well as their league rival Chanute. Then in Class 2A, like there was any doubt here, Colgan earns a regional title and is once again headed to the state tournament in Great Bend. Still to come, I'm going to take you to meet a man who visited all 7 wonders in less than 7 days. Plus, another check of that forecast and when the rain gets here when the KOAM Morning News returns. From the Military Museum in Miami. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:18 on this finally Friday in the 4 states. And finally, some additional much-needed rain chances. We talked about the drought tracker yesterday. Still extreme and severe drought in parts of southeast Kansas, but we have seen improvements thanks to the rainfall we've seen over the last couple of weeks. And we need more rainfall to continue to see improvements. So here's a look at where it is right now. And here it is as it starts to roll in over the last 3 hours or so. And these thunderstorms will continue to roll through the area as we progress through the day. We're still looking at the possibility of a strong storm or two with maybe some small hail, gusty winds. That overall risk is relatively low. Otherwise, just some general thunderstorms with much needed rainfall. There we were at noon. Here we are at 2. We continue through the afternoon and into the evening hours, and we'll continue to see those showers and thunderstorms. But as you see, they also begin to quickly clear out as we head later into the evening. Rain chances, of course, great through the day. Holding on a little longer than we thought yesterday, but still, no, I don't think anybody that needs this rain is complaining about that. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. We are looking pretty good so far. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, just south of Pittsburgh. And from our camera at 7th and range line, it's hard to see here, but I assure you there are some clouds out there. We're sitting at 64 in Joplin, the south-southeast breeze at about 5 miles an hour. Around the region, temperatures look about like this. 63 Fort Scott, 62 in Iola, 64 Parsons, 63 Miami, 62 Neosho, and 60 in Monette. We'll start to see those isolated showers and thunderstorms rolling into the area, making it to the lower 70s by late morning. And that's where we're going to top out before the rain keeps our temperatures in check. We'll stay at about 72. Now out west in southeast Kansas, where you're going to get the rain a little earlier than the rest of us, your temperatures are likely going to top out closer to the upper 60s. Showers and thunderstorms will continue as we head into the evening as well. Could be a bit breezy here and there. And it's a chilly one for us. We drop drop back down to about 54 under mostly cloudy skies. And for the Joplin Memorial Run tomorrow, it's going to be a little chilly to start. 54 at 7, 60 by 9 a.m., 63 by 11. Of course, the run starts at 6:45. We'll have those mostly clear skies. Otherwise, it's pretty great running weather out there. I know the runners don't want it to be too hot. You also don't want it to be too cold, and you absolutely don't want it to be raining, and it's going to be pretty good. Making it up to 75 on Sunday. A few more clouds out there. Another nice day on Monday with some partly cloudy skies. Then we head into next week. Our temperatures start to warm back up. We'll go back into the lower mid-80s, but we also have, even though they're low, we're looking at those scattered thunderstorm chances returning by Tuesday. So these are going to be kind of pop-up storms. They'll be here, there, but not quite everywhere. But nonetheless, anywhere that these storms pop up, that rain will be most welcome here in the area. Well, a few unexpected visitors have one Arkansas woman ready to move. Zakiah Brown and her family woke up to quite the surprise last week when they found an opossum in their house. Then even more of the furry intruders arrived. Griffin Demarius has the story.
When Zakiah Brown first saw the possum, she had to do a double take, not knowing what it was, but she soon found out that these little guys were not just playing possum.
What the hell, like, what the hell?
I would consider this a pretty normal reaction for what Zakiah Brown has dealt with over the past week, because she has seen not one, not two, but 7 different possums since last Thursday.
Once again, I looked, thought I seen something, nothing. But this third time, oh, it was something. It was sitting on the side of my foot, just sitting there.
And with the most recent interaction coming today, with one that was just looking to hang out in the bathroom.
Early this morning, my kids was getting ready for school. My daughter went to go brush her teeth and it was hanging out on the towel rack, just hanging out there. My son, my 13-year-old son, we kind of like trapped him in. My 13-year-old son put gloves on and grabbed him by the tail.
Possums are mostly nocturnal animals, but sometimes are seen in daylight, especially when food is scarce. And the fact that the last couple that Brown and her family have caught have been in the day is enough for her.
And then coming out in the daytime, it's time to go. Because it's been more, the last 2 we caught in the morning time, right before the kids go to school in the bathroom. So it's just like, no, I gotta go.
She was able to catch 3 of them, but there are still 4 on the loose, which Brown is still searching for. But no sign, and Brown and her family are so caught up with it all that they can't sleep.
I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm terrified. I'm terrified. Like, I can't sleep. Like, I'm terrified.
And there's not much that has been done to help Brown and her family get the animals out. She called animal control last Thursday, but as of today,
they never showed up. The police did, though.
Yeah.
But not animal control.
And Brown ain't hanging around. She is set to move out of her place within the next week.
Well, that brings us to our question for you. Have you ever found anything odd in your house? Yes or no? Make sure you take time to vote because we want to hear from you. KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so in our app and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, a popular actress is shining a light on a little-known mental health condition. Megan Fox says she suffers from body dysmorphic disorder, or body dysmorphia, and it can have a major impact on a person's mental and physical well-being. Health experts say many who suffer from this condition may not even know it. Mandy Gaither has more on the red flags to watch out for in yourself or a loved one and ways to get relief.
She's regarded as one of the most beautiful people in Hollywood, but actress Megan Fox recently told Sports Illustrated she suffers from body dysmorphia, a mental health condition that alters how you see and feel about your body and the way you look.
It impacts about 1 in 50 individuals, so it's fairly common, even though it may not be a term that is well known.
With the isolation during the height of the pandemic and the popularity of social media, psychologist Susan Alberts with Cleveland Clinic says there's been an explosion of this type of condition.
You may find yourself spending excessive amount of time grooming or checking yourself in the mirror. You may spend hundreds and thousands of dollars in cosmetic procedures, trying to fix your appearance. You may also avoid important events because you're afraid of the anxiety that it may bring up around your appearance.
Albert says these are all red flags of which to be aware, but it may not be easy for a person to spot this disorder in themselves.
It's a little bit like looking in a funhouse mirror. Your perception of yourself is skewed or wavered in a way that other people's do not perceive.
If you recognize a problem in yourself or a loved one, help is available.
It is often treated with a combination of therapy, medication, and the goal is to become aware of these thoughts and challenge them, as well as build self-acceptance.
The Cleveland Clinic says body dysmorphic disorder carries a high risk of self-harm or suicidal thoughts. If you or someone you love is struggling, you can reach out to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we're starting our day off a little bit cool and a little bit cloudy ahead of some showers and thunderstorms rolling into the area. We will have another complete look at your forecast right after this. But first, we have another live look from the military cemetery in Miami. We'll be right back.
Good morning, I'm Tanya Bach with your KOAM News Update. The community in Pittsburgh recognizes their officers during the National Police Week by bringing goods and lunches for the law enforcement. That's according to Lieutenant Chris Moore. During the week on May 15th, the Peace Officers Memorial Day, law enforcement honored officers who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And Moore says some officers travel to Washington, D.C. to spend a couple of days to see lost officers' names on a wall and honor them. Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce is celebrating the area's progress over the past year. The chamber held its annual banquet with numerous local business, education, and community leaders, and there were awards and a silent auction.
We're going to have those thunderstorms rolling in as we go through the morning, and they'll stick with us through the afternoon and into the late evening hours. Some of us ahead of the storms this morning will get into the lower 70s. Those in Kansas where the rain starts earlier, you're going to top out in the 60s. Thunderstorms may be a bit breezy. They start to let up before midnight, back down to about 54. Memorial Run in Joplin tomorrow, 6:45. We've got clear skies and temperatures in the mid-50s, lower 60s. As we look ahead, great weekend for us, a great Monday, and then more shower and thunderstorm chances as we head into next week, and temperatures in the lower 80s.
Right now at 5:30, we take you to Miami, Oklahoma to learn more about a military museum just in time for Armed Forces Day.
We've got some cloudy skies out there, showers and thunderstorms beginning to roll into the area. We'll take a look at where those storms are and how our weekend is shaping up coming up.
And not only is tomorrow Armed Forces Day, this week is also National Police Week, and we take you to Pittsburgh to see how the police department is celebrating.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:31. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. It's a finally Friday in the 4 states and some much needed rain starting to roll into the area. We talked about the drought tracker yesterday. It updates every Thursday. Still extreme drought in parts of southeast Kansas, but we're beginning to see some slight improvements. Some of that extreme drought getting shrunk down a little bit, and the more rain we can get, the better to help with that. And the good news is more rain is on the way, just kind of knocking at our back door this morning. You can see those showers, a few thunderstorms out there just crawling into our western counties. Here's a look at where they are coming from. Plenty of this activity to start rolling into the area as we go through the morning, and it will persist with us through at least the late evening hours. So let's talk about how long it sticks around. We go to noon, got those showers and thunderstorms out there. Here we are at 2 o'clock, more showers and storms, and as we head into about 5, more showers and storms. And again, they'll stick with us. Here we are even 8 o'clock. They'll be here through about 10 to midnight tonight. Then they'll start to roll on out of here. Now, for those of us in this region ahead of this morning storms, we may actually make it in the lower 70s, but if you are west of 69, odds are you will not make it out of the 60s just because you're going to get in on the rain action a little earlier. So there's a look at those rain chances this morning as we get our day started. MoDOT camera 20th and range line so far looking good. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera 7th and range line, a little bit of light out there. You can kind of see some of the clouds. We're sitting at 64 in Joplin, south-southeast breeze at about about 5 miles an hour. We are sitting at 61 in Pittsburgh, Chetopa, 65 Chanute, 63 Miami, at 64 in Carthage. We get our day started, start seeing those showers, thunderstorms rolling in. We make it into the lower 70s again for some of us by late morning, but that's where we cap out. Lower 70s, temperatures will turn around, start to fall back down under the rain showers and thunderstorms. And as we head into this evening, could be a bit breezy here and there, but those showers and thunderstorms again continuing through about midnight. We're going to make it down to about 54 under mostly cloudy skies. We'll have another complete look at your forecast, including the weekend, here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Pittsburgh nonprofit organizations will have an opportunity to receive $10,000. Southeast Kansas 100 People Who Care is hosting a networking event to raise $10,000 on May 25th. The goal is to fill the Frisco Center with 100 people who donate $100 each. That money will go towards making a change in their community.
We have 100 people who come together who bring $100 each. And what happens is they will listen to that 5-minute elevator speech, and then that night they are going to vote on one nonprofit, and that nonprofit will go home with $10,000.
The community is involved in helping put on the event. Catering, drinks, and the event venue were donated. That means all the money will go towards one lucky nonprofit. Well, the Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce is celebrating the area's progress over the past year. The chamber held its annual banquet with numerous local business, education, and community leaders. There were awards and a silent auction.
It's stressful, and it's stressful leading up to it, but it's totally worth it whenever I see people coming in. They're having a great time, the drinks are flowing, dinner's being served, and then we have a great silent auction items this year, so it's a great time.
The banquet was held at Pitt State's Overman Student Center. Well, this week, people across the country are celebrating National Police Week. KOAM's Yana Dula looks at the job of 2 law enforcement officers from the Pittsburgh Police Department.
The community in Pittsburgh recognizes their officers during the National Police Week.
We've had numerous businesses and citizens bring us cookies and lunches and meat trays and all that kind of stuff, and we really appreciate our community, and we're really lucky in Pittsburgh because we have a very supportive community of our law enforcement agency.
On May 15th, the Peace Officers Memorial Day, law enforcement honored officers who have paid the ultimate sacrifice.
I've actually lost a few friends from around the country that I've done Special Olympics with, and they've lost their lives in the line of duty. So having a day to remember them, especially not only on the time when we remember them all the time, but one day that their families actually get to go to Washington, D.C. and spend a few days there and see their names on the wall and be able to recognize those officers who paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Lieutenant Chris Moore has served for almost 20 years, while Officer Dustin Hipsch has been on duty for over a year. This is a profession he has been interested in since he was younger.
It's a lot more hectic than I thought it was going to be. Pittsburgh's a great community, but we are definitely busy, so it can be crazy.
Lieutenant Moore says oftentimes officers have to see people at their worst, but also at their best.
The Special Olympics, the law enforcement torch run, that's one of the best things I've done in my career, being able to help Special Olympic athletes from around the world.
Officer Hipsch advises newcomers to take their time.
Trust the people that have taught you here or at your department. You know, they're out there trying to teach you how to do the job properly and keep you safe.
In Pittsburgh, Yana Haudala, KOAM News.
National Police Week runs through Saturday. Well, a small military museum that grew in a small town of Miami, Oklahoma. The Miami Legion Post 147 started as a small room full of history and then grew to so much more. KOAM's Carrie Worthen joins us live from Miami, Oklahoma with more on the museum. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Tanya. So I'm here in the museum, which you can only see a little part of it because it's grown. It started out in just one tiny little room, and with the funding from Glenn Pitts, who started it, and also J&M Farms, this museum has grown into 3 big rooms, and there is tons of items in here. The Miami Legion is in the process of getting more funds to expand it. Some of the items date all the way back to the Civil War, and one of the people that work here, which you'll hear from later, says that everything is on loan in the museum and kept track of.
from the Tuscaloosa Airmen. There was a segregated black group in World War II that flew planes and turned into the best pilots of World War II, to the women's job during World War II, where they were actually a nurse or a secretary, and that's all they could, that's what their job was. Today, now we have fighter pilots, admirals of ships, and everything. So you have to understand that that's the history of the job.
So everything in this museum is on loan, as I said earlier, and hopefully we get to show some of the items throughout the morning shows.
All right, thank you, Carrie. I'm curious though, is the museum open to the public, and when could we come view it?
It is open to the public. The hours for the Legion here is 9 to 1. There is always someone here. They also help veterans, so they do that, a daily thing. But if you want to get a hold of the Legion to get a tour of the museum, they're open from 9 to 1, and you can see that link to their number on our website later on today.
All right, thank you so much, Carrie. We'll be checking in with you in about another 30 minutes. Well, this morning we are discussing finding odd things in one's home.
Yeah, when Zakiah Brown and her family first moved into their new home, they expected it to be empty and not have some unexpected guests. And as for those unexpected guests, they were some possums, and they were not playing possum. See, she had a very strong reaction to the situation, considering she's seen not just one, but 7 different possums.
All right, there's the video. And most recent one she had was with one just chilling in the bathroom. Ooh, I don't know
It's
if
better
I can
than a
handle that.
snake.
Yeah. Now, possums are mostly nocturnal animals, but are sometimes seen in the daylight, especially when food is scarce, and the fact that the last couple Brown and her family have caught in the day, that's enough for her.
That brings us to our question for you. Have you ever found anything odd in your house? It's almost an even split. 45% of you saying you have, and 55% of you say that you have not. So make sure you do take time to vote through our website, our app, take part in discussion on our Facebook page.
I've had a bird trapped in my bedroom wall, not once, but twice. The first time we were able to cut a hole, and the bird got out, and we caught it in a box and got it outside. The second time, we cut the hole, and it never came out.
Oh, no.
2 weeks later, we no longer heard the bird.
Oh, well, maybe he got out another way.
Yeah, it doesn't smell.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, a 13-year-old Oklahoma boy does an impressive feat. He graduates from college.
Plus, an 84-year-old mountain climber trying to set a record ends up having to be rescued from a mountain in Nepal. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM. Topping World Watch, an elderly climber is rescued from a mountain in Nepal after getting injured. 84-year-old Spanish climber Carlos Osoria was attempting to climb Mount Dulaguri, but was hurt on his way to the top. He was flown from the mountain by a rescue helicopter and brought to a hospital in Kathmandu for treatment. Soria had hoped to become the oldest person to scale all the world's highest peaks. He already accomplished much of his goal by scaling 12 of the 14 highest mountains, including Mount Everest. Well, here's a little bucket list inspiration for you. A British traveler sets a new world record by visiting all 7 wonders of the world in less than 7 days. Tina Kraus is in London with more on his whirlwind adventure.
I've got to hit the road. And
when Jamie McDonald said goodbye to his family in England,
and I'm going to bring you something back really special.
He knew he'd be gone for less than a week.
This challenge for me made me the most nervous because there was 43 pieces of transportation that needed to go right.
His mission, to see the 7 wonders of the world in less than 7 days.
Come on, we're doing it.
Starting with the Great Wall of China.
I actually feel quite emotional.
Then the breathtaking Taj Mahal in India.
I don't think I've ever seen anything as beautiful as that as a building goes. Oh, wow.
And the ancient city of Petra in Jordan.
3 out of 7 wonders.
But there was little time to revel in the moment. McDonald had another plane to catch.
18F again.
He took 13 flights in all, 16 taxis, 9 buses, 4 trains.
Here we go!
And a toboggan as he ticked off a bucket list of world landmarks.
Can you actually believe people used to fight to the death down there? It just blows my mind.
With every wonder he witnessed, the Globetrotter, known as Adventure Man, raised money for his superhero foundation helping kids with disabilities.
We've done it, Jamie. We've done it?
And on the final lap at Chichen Itza in Mexico, he set a world record. Just in time to fly home for more adventure. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Aw, in the end, the trip took 6 days, 16 hours, and 14 minutes. The 37-year-old says he only slept about 12 hours over the 7 days, but with a toddler at home and newborn twins as well, he says sleep isn't something he's used to anyway. Chris and I can relate. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Just now 5:48 across the area, and we've got those showers and thunderstorms beginning to roll into our western counties right now, and they'll continue to roll in and bring some much needed rainfall across the region. Here's a look at where they're at and where they're coming from as we take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker this morning. Let's head forward in time. We go to about noon, showers and thunderstorms overspreading the area. We go to 2, we go to 5, we continue to see showers and thunderstorms. We go to 8, we're continuing to see showers and thunderstorms, but beginning to clear a little bit back to the west, and roughly by about midnight or so, showers and storms out of here. Now, for those of us roughly west of, let's say, Highway 7 even in southeast Kansas, you're probably not going to make it out of the 60s today because you'll get in on the rain a little earlier, but everybody else is going to end up getting at least into the lower 70s before the rain starts. Rain chances, of course, really ramp up as we head into the afternoon hours. Live look at the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline in Joplin, looking pretty good so far, and same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. And our camera 7th and Rangeline got some cloud cover out there, otherwise not too bad. 64 south-southeast breeze at about 5 miles an hour, and across the area temperatures look about like this: 61 Pittsburgh, 64 Parsons, 65 Neodesha, 63 in Miami Neosho, and 61 in Nevada. We get our morning started. Scattered showers, thunderstorms increase as we go through the morning, and again for those of us roughly east of Highway 7 in Kansas, we're going to make it in the lower 70s, but we do cap out at about 72, and then the showers and storms will keep us a little cooler as we go through the day. We could see a strong storm or two with maybe some small hail, gusty winds. That risk is relatively low, but there is that remote possibility. Otherwise, just thunderstorms. A little breezy this evening. Showers and storms again wrapping up by about midnight. Lows back to the mid-50s for the Memorial Run tomorrow, starting at about 54, making it to 60 by 9 and 63 by 11. So a little bit of a chilly start, but we'll have those mostly clear skies. It's going to be a pretty good day to get out there and do that running tomorrow morning. As we head through the rest of the weekend, 70 tomorrow, 75 Sunday, partly cloudy skies, a few more clouds maybe on Sunday. Not a bad Monday either, mid-70s. And then we head down the road and we go into next week toward next weekend. Temperatures continue to warm, lower 80s, mid-80s. But we'll have those scattered thunderstorm chances nearly every day starting on Tuesday through next weekend. That is a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
An Oklahoma teen just graduated from college with not 1, but 4 diplomas. At 13 years old, his family says he's the youngest African American to graduate college with a degree in computer science and cybersecurity. Elise Jones has his story.
Okay, this might take a long time.
A long list of accomplishments behind Elijah Muhammad's name.
So I have 10 IBM certifications through Coursera, have 1 Google IT certification. I have 4 diplomas from Oklahoma City Community College.
Elijah Muhammad. At just 13, he crossed the stage as a college graduate, making history.
First, I really didn't understand the full impact of it until my dad was fully explained it. It was like, you're really doing this, like you're the youngest to ever do it.
And while he may not be your typical 13-year-old boy,
also currently attend OSU, working on my bachelor's degree in cybersecurity and forensics. And I also attend Langston with a 4.0.
He says he still loves being a teenager.
As much accomplishments as I had, so I still go swimming, go outside, play basketball, and still have fun and stuff.
His family beams with pride at all he's done and what's to come.
Set your mind to that goal and don't let anything interfere with it.
He is the smartest person I know, and it's like, regardless if you're older or not, it's like I've never seen nothing like him.
A speaker,
That if you set your mind to it to complete it now, you don't have to worry about it doing it later.
a record holder, and a motivator.
If you want to put your mind to making a 4.0, you can do it. If you want to put your mind to winning a state championship, you can do it. You just got to put in the work that it takes to accomplish that.
The world at his fingertips.
Well, Elijah's older sister also just graduated from college, and she is 15 years old. Quite a family. We'll be right back. Well, there's no place like home, especially if you call one of the top-ranked cities home. The 150 most populous metro areas in the U.S. are ranked based on affordability, quality of life, desirability, and job market. The annual rankings also consider factors people consider when moving somewhere new, including the cost of living, weather, and access to health care. This year, Green Bay, Wisconsin took the #1 spot thanks to affordable housing, low crime, and high air quality. Huntsville, Alabama, Raleigh and Durham, North Carolina, Boulder, Colorado, and Sarasota, Florida round out this year's top 5. The bones of a juvenile mastodon are unearthed in Michigan. The bones of this young, now extinct animal are now on display in the Grand Rapids Public Museum. This is 13,000 years after the animal called the Michigan Woods home. The remains were discovered last year while workers were digging a drainage ditch in Kent County.
We've got those showers and thunderstorms beginning to roll into the area. They'll increase in coverage as we go through today. Highs pushing lower 70s, but those of us out west getting rain early will not make it out of the 60s. And we cap out at about 72 ahead of the rain, and then shower storms will keep us a little bit cooler. Could be a strong storm or two with maybe some small hail, gusty winds, but that risk is relatively low. A little bit breezy this evening. Showers and storms wrapping up by about midnight, dropping back to the mid-50s. If you're doing the Memorial Run tomorrow, 6:45 a.m. in Joplin, 54 by 7, 60 by 9, and 63 by 11 with those mostly clear skies, so pretty nice day. Making it up to 70 tomorrow, 75 on Sunday and Monday. And then as we head into next week, temperatures continue to warm, low to mid-80s, but then we see scattered thunderstorm chances every day next week, starting Tuesday through the weekend. We'll be back with another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly vetoes a provision in the proposed $6 billion education budget that she says would harm rural public schools.
And for those of us ahead of the storms, we have got a beautiful sunrise. We'll take a look at that. We've got those thunderstorms on the way, though. We'll talk about when they'll get here and how long they'll last coming up.
And the city of Joplin celebrates the third Thursday in May with food trucks, vendors, and an electronics smash-a-thon.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 6 o'clock on this finally Friday in the 4 states. How does it feel to make it to Friday?
Feels good.
It does, doesn't it? Man, it's something, you know, by the time you get to Friday, no matter how long the week has been, it's Friday, and that makes it a great day.
You know what also is really cool about today? 4 State Farm Show kicks off.
It does, and we will be there live at noon today. And of course, we got the Memorial Run tomorrow. A lot of great things are coming up this weekend. So let's take a look at what's going to happen today, though. So right now, Skywatch Storm Tracker showing us those showers and thunderstorms out there. We're starting to see a little more lightning with the thunderstorm activity back across parts of northeastern Oklahoma, and that will continue to roll in and overspread the area, bringing us some much-needed showers out there, much-needed rainfall for sure. So as we go through the day, the showers, thunderstorms will continue to roll in wind from roughly southwest to northeast, and they will stick with us all the way through about midnight tonight, and we could even see a strong storm or two. We're talking small hail, gusty winds, nothing too crazy. Otherwise, just some much needed rainfall in the area before it does eventually clear out. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline, looking pretty good so far. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. And look at this sunrise this morning. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. There's beautiful colors out there. We're sitting at 64 in Joplin, southeast breeze at 5. If you have an opportunity to step outside during the next commercial break, do so. It looks great. 61 Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, 64 Parsons, 63 Miami, Neosho, and 64 in Carthage. We get our morning started. Showers, thunderstorms increase. Those of us that are ahead of the morning rain, the rain that's moving in right now, make it into the lower 70s, but we top out there. A little further west, say west of Highway 7, in Kansas, you're not going to make it out of the 60s today. Showers, thunderstorms continuing through the afternoon and into the evening through about midnight, and then we drop back down to the mid-50s for our overnight lows, and the clouds initially mostly cloudy, and they'll start to clear towards sunrise. We'll have another look at your full forecast here in just a couple of minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. On Thursday, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly vetoed part of a $6 billion funding plan for the state's K-12 schools. Governor Kelly said she objected to one provision that she says would cut funding for rural public schools who've been dealing with declining enrollment. The spending plan, which would provide the bulk of the money that the state's 286 school districts rely on, would also expand a program aimed at providing private school scholarships for low-income families. Well, damage caused by recent wet weather closed 2 trails at a popular Joplin park. According to the Wildcat Glades Nature Group, the red trail between the Woodland Loop and the Reddings Mill Bridge is closed. A crack in the trail opened up along a portion of the walkway. The green trail, also known as Bluff Trail, is closed from the south side of Reddings Mill Bridge to Mother Nature's Crack as the bridge crossing area at Spring Creek is flooded. This week, people across the country are celebrating National Police Week. The community in Pittsburgh recognizes its officers during the National Police Week by bringing goods and lunches for the law enforcement. That's according to Lieutenant Chris Moore. During the week, on May 15th, the Peace Officers Memorial Day, law enforcement honored officers who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. This is an important day for Lieutenant Moore.
For National Police Week, it was actually started as a Memorial Day, which was on the 15th, to honor all of the law enforcement officers that have lost their life in the line of duty. So the state does something different, everybody does something different, and so today we actually had a barbecue here at the police department.
National Police Week this year runs from May 14th to the 20th. Well, police in New Mexico released new body cam video from the deadly shooting that killed 3 people and left 6 others injured, including 2 police officers. Footage shows police rushing towards gunfire as the teenage shooter challenges them to take him on. Jared Hill has the latest and a warning for our viewers. Some of this report may be difficult to watch.
In disturbing new video, a barrage of gunfire pierces through the silence in a New Mexico neighborhood. From a doorbell camera, police say you can hear the 18-year-old shooter call out for officers to kill him.
When he's making the decision to take off his body armor, he's making a stand, and he has opportunities to run off. He does not use those opportunities.
From another angle, body cam video shows police rushing toward the gunfire. The shots miss one of them, but Farmington Police Sergeant Rachel DeSenza is hit in the pelvis. During the 10-minute rampage, police say the gunman fired more than 140 rounds with an AR-15 rifle. 3 women were killed. 97-year-old Gwen Schofield and her 73-year-old daughter, Melody Ivy, shot when they pulled over near the body of 79-year-old Shirley Voita.
It's our belief, based on what we can see, that they were in the process of pulling over to render aid to the victim that they saw laying in the street.
Just 3 pillars of our community, and such a tragedy.
In the end, the shooter, who was due to graduate high school just one day later, appeared to fire a few more shots from a church parking lot before he was killed.
Subject down!
According to investigators, the suspect legally bought the AR-15 used in the shooting 1 month after he turned 18. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Farmington police are still looking for a motive, but they say this latest mass shooting appeared to be random. A new poll from Axios Ipsos out Thursday shows that more than a quarter of respondents think access to guns or firearms is the top threat to American public health. That's up from 17% in February. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Integris Health Hospice Northeast in Miami, Oklahoma hosted a memorial walk for residents in memory of their loved ones. Each walker held a lighted candle in honor of those they lost. The event was free to everyone and included some light refreshments served during the walk, including some cookies. An official says the walk is a special way to honor the life and legacy of Integris patients.
We have a clinical supervisor that worked for us that has passed away in the last year, and so this one we're going to do in honor of her. So it has a very special meaning.
And if you couldn't walk, you could take a seat and reminisce with your loved ones. The walk was at Rotary Centennial Park. Yesterday marked the third Thursday of the month, which means downtown Joplin was full of food trucks and vendors. More than 125 vendors were on hand for the event. And there was also a Healthy Joplin walk, a vintage car cruise, pizza eating contest, and an electronics smash-a-thon.
Celebrating the Great Adventure tonight, so there's all kinds of things you can come down. You can come down and join the fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club, the Smash-a-thon, and with that, you just make a small donation and you can take out any lingering feelings you might be having by smashing the heck out of old printers and other electronics.
The third Thursday events happen every month through October. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, lawmakers on the right in state houses across the country continue to pass more laws restricting transgender rights. Plus, Pfizer announces it has a plan to protect infants against RSV by giving the vaccine to pregnant women. We'll have the details. And Chris returns with another look at your forecast, and we'll see if he's got good news for the weather this weekend. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back, but first, in honor of Armed Forces Day, here's a live look from the Military Museum at the American Legion Post 147 in Miami, Oklahoma. We'll be checking in with Carrie here in a little bit. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the man charged with murdering Cash App co-founder Bill Lee pleads not guilty. San Francisco judge is keeping Nima Momini in custody without bail following Thursday's arraignment. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for Friday. Documents from the district attorney's office say Momini and Lee argued before the fatal stabbing on April 4th. An attorney for Momini has pointed to a toxicology report showing drugs in Lee's system. She says people under the influence, quote, make bad decisions and do bad things. In a crazy situation, two homeowners are picking up the pieces after a police chase ends inside their homes. The suspect's car and a police car crashed into two homes on Holly Park Drive in Houston. The police have not said what started the chase around noon on Thursday, but they did say it ended with an arrest and no injuries. The national debate over transgender rights is picking up momentum this week in state houses across the country. More than a dozen states have already enacted laws restricting gender-affirming care for minors, with more poised to follow. Danya Bacchus has the latest.
Rejecting weeks of loud protest, Texas lawmakers voted to ban transgender medical care for minors.
That was an incredibly hard moment for our community.
If signed into law, it would make Texas the largest state so far to approve bans on gender-affirming care. At least 17 others have already enacted laws, and several more are poised for action this week. In Florida, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill on Wednesday banning hormone treatments and surgery for transgender people under 18.
This will permanently outlaw the mutilation of minors,
It will outlaw the surgical procedures and experimental puberty blockers for minors.
In April, Montana passed its bill in the glare of the national spotlight after a transgender lawmaker was barred from the floor of the state's House of Representatives after insisting Republicans would have blood on their hands.
I was speaking to the real consequences of the votes that we as legislators take in this body.
Some of the bluer states are working to protect the LGBTQ community. Michigan has a new law against discrimination, and Democrats there are pushing for a ban on conversion therapy, which aims to reorient a person's sexuality. Another battle in the culture wars that continue to sweep the nation. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Texas House also voted to restrict transgender athletes, from competing in college sports based on gender identity. Michigan teenager is being hailed a hero after he used a slingshot to stop a stranger from abducting his younger sister in the family's own backyard. Owen Burns says he had just returned home from school, started playing video games when he heard his sister's cries for help. The 13-year-old sprang into action, shooting the would-be kidnapper with a slingshot as he tried to kidnap the 8-year-old girl. Michigan State Police say Owen struck the suspect in the head and chest, allowing his sister to get away. The would-be abductor, slingshot wounds and all, now faces several charges, including attempted kidnapping. That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves some cloudy skies out there. Had a really beautiful shot of the sunrise earlier. Showers and thunderstorms are on the way in. We'll take a look at those when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 6:18 on this Friday morning. Showers continuing to overspread in our western counties with some heavier rain and thunderstorms back off to the southwest. All of this activity continuing to lift to the east-northeast, and we will see more showers and thunderstorms as we go through today. We head into about the noon hour. Those showers and storms lining up quite nicely, and they will stay with us through about midnight tonight. And we could see a strong storm or two today. We're looking at a possibility of maybe some small hail, gusty winds. The overall risk of strong storms is relatively low, but there could be a stronger storm or two out there. By about 8, we're starting to see some clearing off in our western counties. And then again, by about midnight or so, the remainder of this activity is on its way out of here. MoDOT camera, 20th in range line, looking pretty good so far, and same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, of course, just south of Pittsburgh, Kansas. And our camera at 7th in range line, we had an absolutely gorgeous look at that sunrise about 20 minutes ago. Beautiful colors in the sky. Still looking pretty good though, but got those clouds. 64 southeast wind at 5 in Joplin. Across the region, temperatures look about like this. We've got 65 Independence, Chanute, 66 Neodesha, 61 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, 63 Miami, Neosho, and sitting at 64 in Carthage. And for our highs today, those of you out to our west that are starting to get under the rainfall now, you probably won't make it out of the 60s. But for those of us roughly east of Highway 7 in Kansas, we're going to stay ahead of the rain for just long enough that we're going to start to make it into the low 70s today. Showers, thunderstorms increasing through the late morning hours. However, low 70s are where we top out, and then the showers and storms bring our temperatures down just a little bit. And again, much needed rainfall out there for the area, and showers and thunderstorms continuing through the evening through about midnight tonight. Then we'll start to transition mostly cloudy skies, and they'll begin to clear towards sunrise. The low right around the mid-50s out there, so not a bad overnight. But the evening could also see some gusty winds out there outside of some of our thunderstorm chances as we head through the evening hours. If you're doing the Joplin Memorial Run, that is tomorrow morning, kicking off at 6:45. So right around 7, we're looking at 54, partly cloudy, so a little bit chilly. By 9 a.m., we're sitting at about 60, mostly clear. And toward the end of everything, around 11, we're sitting at 63 and mostly clear. So a bit of a chilly start, but otherwise plentiful sunshine, good running weather out there. We're not talking any rain, and we're not talking any excessive heat, just a pleasant start to our Saturday. As for Saturday, once we get past that pleasant start, we warm up to right around 70 with those partly cloudy skies. Could see a few more clouds on Sunday and a bit warmer, mid-70s. So as we've been mentioning this week, if you got some yard work you need to catch up on, Sunday, Saturday, either day, your best day to do it. So Monday, not looking too bad either. Mid-70s, partly cloudy skies. And as we head into the remainder of next week, we'll start to see our temperatures increase, and they'll start climbing through the low 80s, and then eventually by the weekend, next weekend rather, into the mid 80s. But as you can see, now the chances here are low, but they're there. So this is that part of the year where we start to see those scattered pop-up thunderstorms around the area, and we'll have chances for those storms Tuesday through next weekend. So some more much-needed rain chances out there in the area. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, health officials are urging people at high risk of mpox to get 2 doses of the vaccine. A new study published by the CDC found 2 doses of the Jynneos vaccine were 86% effective in preventing infection from the virus formerly known as monkeypox. That's about a 10% improvement over a single dose. The CDC is warning there could be an mpox resurgence over the coming months. And a new study out of the University of Bern in Switzerland finds masks and portable air cleaners reduce the spread of COVID in schools. Researchers found in 2 secondary schools, concentrations of the airborne virus were 70% lower in classrooms with mask mandates and 40% lower where air cleaners were used. And where you live might play a role in weight loss. That's the finding from Dutch researchers out of the University Medical Center Rotterdam. They asked participants to answer questions about the safety and attractiveness of their neighborhood and found that people with the highest feeling of safety also had the greatest decreases in both weight and waist circumference. An FDA advisory panel votes to recommend approval of a vaccine to protect infants against RSV. The shot would be given to pregnant women. Stephanie Stahl has more.
Pfizer's experimental RSV vaccine would be given in late pregnancy so mothers can pass antibodies onto their babies to protect against the virus. Pfizer says its research of nearly 7,400 vaccinated mothers finds the shot is 82% effective at preventing severe RSV in infants in the first 3 months of life. That number is 69% at 6 months.
RSV pre-F maternal immunization demonstrated a satisfactory safety profile in mothers and their infants.
Reviewers with the FDA say the vaccine appears to be safe, but there are some questions about a slight difference in premature birth in the 2 study groups.
The difference of 1% was noted in premature births, similar to the difference seen in preterm deliveries, though not statistically significant. These findings may be of consideration for further safety evaluation through post-marketing studies.
RSV, which stands for respiratory syncytial virus, can be dangerous, even deadly for some infants and young children. The CDC estimates about 58 to 80,000 children under 5 are hospitalized due to RSV. Premature babies and infants under 6 months old are at highest risk for severe RSV illness.
There's nothing more distressing for parents than the frightened look of their 3-month-old infant struggling to breathe.
The U.S. experienced an unprecedented early and severe surge in RSV cases last fall, putting a significant strain on hospitals. Pfizer predicts up to 16,000 infant hospitalizations could be prevented each year if pregnant women are vaccinated for RSV. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News.
Earlier this month, GlaxoSmithKline's RXV became the first RSV vaccine approved for use in the U.S. for people ages 60 and older. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We've got showers and thunderstorms that are going to start rolling into the area as the morning progresses, increasing by late morning. Some of us right around 72, others getting the rain early, won't make it out of the 60s. Showers and thunderstorms stick with us through the afternoon. We're down to 67 by 4, and we could have a few stray showers holding on through about midnight tonight. Could also get a bit breezy, and we could see a strong storm or two with maybe some small hail, gusty winds, nothing too crazy. Otherwise, just some much needed rain around the area. A little bit chilly tonight, too, as we drop back into into the mid-50s. For the Joplin Memorial Run tomorrow, kicking off at 6:45 by 7, partly cloudy and 54, 60 by 9, 63 by 11, mostly clear skies, pretty dry out there, so a great day to get out there and enjoy the run. For the rest of our Saturday, making it up to 70, 75 on Sunday, maybe a few more clouds. Not a bad Monday either, and then as we head into next week, we do have low-end chances, but we've got chances for scattered showers and thunderstorms Tuesday through next Sunday, and temperatures continue to warm through the lower to mid-80s as we head into next week. So not only warmer, but more much-needed rain chances. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now at 6:30, KOAM's Carrie Worthen takes us to American Legion Post 147 in Miami, Oklahoma, where they're preserving military history in a hidden gem of a museum.
Clouds on the increase across the area as thunderstorms begin to roll in. We'll take a look at where those thunderstorms are and how the rest of our day is looking coming up.
And McDonald County High School students give back to their community with a gift to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:31. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Finally Friday across the 4 states and some more much needed rain making its way into the area right now. But the rain and its arrival times is going to impact some of our high temperatures today as well. Those of you starting to get rain right now or getting under that thicker cloud cover, you're not going to make it out of the 60s. But if you are east of that, so roughly east of Highway 7, could make it into the lower 70s before the rain starts to bring temperatures down later this afternoon. Here's a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. Bigger batches of heavier rain, even some thunderstorms out there, and showers starting to work their way into the rest of the viewing area. Here's a look at the track on this over the last about 3 hours or so, continuing to lift east-northeast across the area, and it will continue to overspread the area as we go through the day, and we'll see those showers and storms and much needed rainfall. Now, we do have the possibility of maybe a strong storm or two, some small hail, gusty winds, but that overall risk is relatively low, and the showers and storms will wrap up right around midnight or so across the area. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin got some sunshine underneath those clouds out there as the sun rises. KDOT camera 69 and 400, a few more clouds up there as the rain begins to roll in. As we take a look at our camera at 7th and Rangeline, you can see some partly cloudy skies, but again, those clouds will increase. 64 in Joplin right now with a southeast breeze at 5. Around the region, we've got 60 in Pittsburgh, 64 Parsons, 65 Independence, Neodesha, Chanute, 62 Miami, and 63 in Neosho. We get our morning started, showers, thunderstorms increasing, again east of Highway 7, making it into the lower 70s, and then we stop, and the rain starts to bring our temperatures back down. We'll see those thunderstorms throughout the afternoon and continuing into our evening hours, and once they clear out, a bit of a chilly evening ahead of us, mostly cloudy skies, back down to the mid-50s. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A small military museum that grew in a small town of Miami, Oklahoma. KOAM's Carrie Worthen joins us live in Miami this morning and has more on this hidden gem. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Tanya. So I'm here at the Miami Legion 147. We're in the military museum. Not everybody knows about this place, and it started in 2012 as a small room and then grew to a 3-room museum. And so they're hoping to make it bigger.
Without our veterans, we wouldn't be able to do what we do today, because they're the ones that fought, that gave us the freedom to stand here and do this today.
What started out as a small military museum in the town of Miami, Oklahoma, Legion, in 2012, grew to a much larger collection due to the funding from Glenn Pitts, who started the museum, and J&M Farms.
We had about a 10 by 10 room, and now we've got actually 3 rooms that we've added to this. So it's grown substantially. We're working on funding right now to actually try to expand it, to add some more stuff to it.
Some of the items date all the way back to the Civil War.
The goal of this place is to let everybody understand that even today, our veterans are still important. They need to understand that the military history of the military.
The Miami Legion is in the process of getting more funds to expand the museum to show the importance of history.
from the Tuscaloosa Airmen. There was a segregated black group in World War II that flew planes and turned into the best pilots of World War II, to the women's job during World War II, where they were actually a nurse or a secretary, and that's all they could, that's what their job was. Today, now we have fighter pilots, admirals of ships, and everything. So you have to understand that that's the history of the job.
May says that everything is on loan in the museum and kept track of.
This is a job that people now decide to take to help better this nation. It's not all about fighting in war. I mean, it's about how to keep this country what it is.
Because that Saturday is
10 seconds.
Okay, so Tanya, they are trusting me with this stuff, and these 2 items right here are actually from the Battle of the Bulge, came off a German officer. So I think it's pretty cool. I'm learning so much being in this museum, and so I do encourage everybody to come and by and just see the history of this.
All right, and of course, Carrie's going to have more on this on the Military Museum at American Legion, Post 147, on our website later this morning. Can you tell us, though, Carrie, what are the hours of operation there at the museum?
The hours they're open from 9 to 1, Monday through Thursday. They do encourage anybody that wants to come in and look, or even a veteran who's needing help, to call them. So they strongly recommend to call them anytime.
All right, thank you very much, Carrie. We'll be seeing you in a few minutes. Well, Kansas and Missouri officials held a press conference on Thursday to make an announcement about the upcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup. Kansas City will be one of the handful of cities chosen to host the World Cup. The city recently played host for the NFL Draft and won the 2023 NFL Super Bowl. Pittsburgh Area Chamber of Commerce celebrates the area's progress over the past year. On Thursday, the chamber held its annual banquet with numerous local business, education, and community leaders. There were awards and a silent auction.
So what we have going on today is our annual chamber banquet. It's one of our bigger events throughout the year, and it's one that everybody in the community looks forward to. We have community business leaders, employees, co-workers. It's a great time for all the businesses to come and hang out with each other, but also celebrate what we have going on here in the city of Pittsburgh.
The banquet was held at Pitt State's Overman Student Center. Pittsburgh nonprofit organizations will have an opportunity to receive $10,000. Southeast Kansas 100 People Who Care is hosting a networking event to raise $10,000 on May 25th. The goal is to fill the Frisco Center with 100 people who donate $100 each. The money will go towards making a change in their community.
In this area, we're in a rural community, and so everybody is trying to stretch and volunteer and give back. And so this is one way that we have a power hour. People can come together with like-minded individuals that want to give back to our community, and that is how we make a huge difference.
Community is involved in helping put on the event. Catering, drinks, and the event venue were donated. That means all the money will go towards one lucky nonprofit. Well, some area kids did a good deed to impact kids in need in the area. On Thursday, McDonald County High School students donated $1,200 to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals at Freeman Health System. Money raised is from a color run the students organized last month on behalf of Nora Beechner. Nora is the 6-year-old daughter of MCHS counselor Joseph Beechner.
Nora was diagnosed with a hypothalamic hamartoma when she was 9 months old, and Children's Miracle Network has done a ton for our family in helping us pay for travel expenses and some of her medical expenses. And so
almost 50 people turned up for last month's color run. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, KOAM's very own Shannon Becker stops by our studio. You can hear him share his big 3 news stories of the week. You think you know what they are?
Area with those showers and storms, and they'll last through the majority of the day. We'll take a look at that forecast a little bit later in the show. But before we do any of that, we're going to go ahead and take a live look in honor of Armed Forces Day from the Military Museum at American Legion Post 147 in Miami. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in studio. It must be Friday.
Yep, that's it. Woo! I don't know what that means. Let's take a look at the big three. Yeah. Let's take a look at the big three live and local stories this week. That's the face of a man who's wanted on attempted murder charges. He was actually out on bond in Southeast Kansas on charges this last December. He and accomplice charged with rape, kidnapping, and attempted murder. Cherokee County Sheriff's deputies have put a warrant out for his arrest. Joplin police located him and chased him all the way back to Kansas with the help of Jasper County Sheriff's deputies. It wasn't very far.
Left on that
truck. They literally got the wheels off the truck. That was Jasper County. They had spiked it in Missouri, so by the time it got here, it was going a little bit slower. So he is back in the Cherokee County Jail. He's still, of course, facing those charges. He won't be getting back out on his bond since it was revoked. More details on our website. Our number 2 story, KOAM News Now, Joplin News First. You know, back in the 70s, the 80s, it was old bear in the air. You know what that means? It's like a chopper in the sky. That's a smoky. You know, police, police, bear in the air, Smokey and the Bandit. Okay, well, maybe you're not there. Anyway, there was a helicopter, Missouri State Highway Patrol. It was a traffic detail along with Jasper County deputies and a bunch of different police agencies, Joplin Police. They were doing a traffic detail targeting high risk and speeding, DWI enforcement, all that stuff together. It was this last Friday. It was a really big event. People.
So were they phoning into the office?
Yep, exactly. They do phone it in.
Phoning into that.
The helicopter above can see, you know, where people. A lot of them were just fleeing from the police.
I'm surprised they're using helicopters to do that, not a drone or something.
No. This is pretty fast, so it works pretty good this way. And then you have someone above who can tell you what's going on. So a lot of people had some fun comments and stuff, but it was very successful. We'll have more details on that coming up in the next couple of weeks. Our number 1 story, again, another serious crash where they're redoing the bridges at Freistadt, just outside of Mount Vernon. This time it was a 10-car pileup, and it claimed the life of a Neosho man who was killed. He was in the line of, there were 9 cars. He was the last one of the 9, and a semi-tractor trailer slammed into the back of him, causing this chain reaction crash. Traffic was blocked for about 4 hours this last Friday. It's clearly marked that it is a slowdown zone to 1 lane. So choose an alternate route or be prepared for slower traffic around Mount Vernon. And our bonus story of the week. This touches my heart so deeply. The Tunnel to Towers 9/11 Memorial Display. It traveled from Missouri into Arkansas. We were there the other day when it made the Arkansas border. And this organization, they honor heroes from 9/11, support their families, like paying off mortgages, building new homes for people. So last year, Joplin Police Corporal Ben Cooper, his family was obviously left behind, his daughters and his wife, and they paid off the mortgage on his home. Wow. And that is an amazing thing. So, you know, the organization, you started around 9/11, and now it continues to honor fallen heroes today. I get goosebumps just talking about it. The display is on location at the Northwest Arkansas Mall up until Sunday. We've got the hours, we got all those details on our website. It's our big 3 bonus.
You've got this story up on
online. Oh, goosebumps, seriously. It's so neat. It's so neat. And it was neat being down there to talk to different people who are involved, a lot of veterans groups, and it was just really, really a powerful group, and we thank them for their support of the Joplin Police Department, Corporal Ben Cooper's family.
That's really great. That's awesome that they did that.
Yeah, it's powerful.
All right, well, if you don't mind sticking around, we'll have you back on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back.
Time for some Friday birthdays in the 4 states. We're going to begin in Nevada with Violet Stedman celebrating number 7. And it says, happy birthday to our princess. We love you. Happy birthday, Violet.
All right, Kale Harper turning 8 years old in Joplin, Missouri from Papa and Grandma.
Timberly and Willow Da Silva celebrating their 8th birthday today in Baxter Springs. Says happy birthday from Mom.
And Brig Beasley celebrating birthday number 9 this year. Oops, did we miss one there? Nope. Well, I'm going to say it anyway. Brig Beasley is 9 in Girard.
And here you see Raven Herlocker celebrating birthday number 9 in Girard as well. Happy birthday, Raven.
All right, and Cheney Stewart. Birthday wishes going out to you too, Cheney. We love you from your other mom, dad, and family.
And Gentry Essig in Parsons celebrating a birthday today says, I love you from Mom. Happy birthday, Gentry.
In Carl Junction, Chris Dooley. Happy birthday number 34 this year.
And we've got Carrie LaRue in Chanute celebrating birthday number 59. Happy birthday, Carrie.
And it's a Dooley celebration day. Ryan and Amy Dooley are celebrating their 7th anniversary this year. They are in Columbus.
And we've got John and Susan McCoy in Joplin celebrating their 35th wedding anniversary. A very happy anniversary to the McCoys.
Love that throwback pic there. Love it. And our very own KOAM marketing consultant, Kim Wiley. Happy birthday.
And our list continues with Keith Romick celebrating a birthday in Columbus.
And Judy Mills turning 80 years old this year. Miss Judy is in Girard. We hope you have a wonderful birthday.
We do indeed, and we want to continue to celebrate with the 4 states. Tanya, how do they celebrate with us?
All you have to do is send us your birthday. Send them to this email, birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website checking out all the cool things it has to offer, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. It is easy to do, and you get special deals from local businesses. Plus, you get a birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club today. All right, let's take a look. Skywatch Storm Tracker. Showers beginning to increase across the area. Thunderstorms beginning to roll in now to our western counties. We can take a look at this loop over the last 3 hours, and these continue to lift off to the east-northeast across the region, and they will stick with us through the majority of our day, and that'll give us thunderstorms and even some showers all the way through about midnight as they exit from northwest to southeast across the area later today. There is the possibility of a strong storm or two. We're talking maybe some small hail, gusty winds. Not a very big possibility, but we could see 1 or 2 stronger storms out there. MoDOT camera 20th and range line, more cloud cover moving in, looking a little darker to the west from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. And you can see those darker clouds beginning to move in from our camera at 7th and range line, sitting at 64 in Joplin right now. Southeast breeze at 5. Looking at temperatures around the region, 61 Fort Scott, 65 in Chanute, 64 Parsons, 62 in Chetopa, Miami, 64 Neosho, and 64 in Carthage. As we get our morning started, obviously showers, thunderstorms increasing. Now, if you're roughly east of Highway 7, we're looking to still make the lower 70s, but if you're west of Highway 7, probably not going to make it out of the 60s today just because you're getting in on the rain action a little bit earlier than those to the east. But otherwise, low 70s for us. We'll take another complete look at your forecast and have the news you need to know right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly vetoed part of a $6 billion funding plan for the state's K-12 schools. Governor Kelly said she objected to the provision that she says would cut funding for rural public schools. The spending plan would provide the bulk of the money that the state's 286 school districts rely on. Well, damage caused by recent weather closed 2 trails at a popular Joplin park. According to the Wildcat Glades Nature Group, the red trail between the Woodland Loop and Reddings Mill Bridge is closed. A crack in the trail opened up along a portion of the walkway. A section of the Green Trail, also known as the Bluff Trail, is also closed as the bridge crossing area at Spring Creek is flooded. What started out as a small military museum at the Miami, Oklahoma Legion in 2012 grew to a much larger collection due to funding from Glenn Pitts, who started the museum, and J&M Farms. And some of the items date all the way back to the Civil War. John Mays, the post sergeant at arms, says everything is on loan in the museum and kept track of. The Pittsburgh community recognizes its officers during National Police Week by bringing goods and lunches for local law enforcement. During the week, starting May 15th, the Peace Officers Memorial Day, law enforcement honored officers who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Some officers even travel to Washington, D.C. to spend a couple of days to see lost officers' names on a wall and honor them. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
We'll have those showers and thunderstorms increasing through the morning, and they'll stick with us through the afternoon and even all the way through about 10 to midnight tonight, with some showers slowly exiting. We're going to make it into the lower 70s, east of 7, west of 7, not making it out of the 60s. Could be a bit breezy, maybe even a strong storm or two, but a low-end possibility. Back down to the mid-50s for our overnight lows. And as we look ahead, nice weekend for us. 70 tomorrow, 75 Sunday, good day Monday. Temperatures warming low to mid-80s next week with some additional scattered storm chances.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making Munchin' Crunchin' Snack Mix in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. There's live coverage from Hiroshima, Japan, where leaders of the world's most powerful democracies have gathered for the Group of 7 summit meetings. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, KOAM Shannon Becker heads back into the studio to help us close out the week with his big 3 stories.
Plus, if you love Legos and you love video games, man, you're in luck, because we've got a preview of Lego 2K Drive that's coming up. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will see you back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to see you again today at noon.